The African who understands that my ancestors were kings and queens, princes and princesses, founder of civilizations. The African who is aware and conscious of that fact will rise and obtain what belongs to him or her, because that is what he or she is built with. I was there for 9 years of my life, and I met a lot of Nigerians, I met a lot of Africans there. It's not rosy, it's not easy. If they should tell you the truth about their life there, no one would want to leave. It can push you to tears. Seeing your brothers and sisters on the street begging. It's sad, really, really sad that we have so much and we are this poor. We neglected our own culture. Our own culture was considered barbaric or demonic, diabolic. Now, if the mind is decolonized, you will now understand that actually your culture was not a bad culture, was not devilish. It was just portrayed in that manner.
It's a great pleasure to hang out with you, Father Odior.
Yes, it is. It is. Same here.
It's Reverend Father.
Yeah.
Reverend Father Anthony Aleakwe
Odior. Great.
I got it. One time, I wasn't sure I was going to get
it. Right.
It's an honor to sit with you.
Pleasure is mine.
How are you doing?
Good, great. Tired, a little bit tired. Just left. We just finished an event where you guys caught me. Yeah, the African Memorial Day event. It's a big one. It takes a lot of time, preparation, conceptualizing the program and all of that. So it took a lot from me. So I'm trying to rest.
You're a man of many parts. You know, I had to like scribble something down because there's no way I'm going to remember everything, the roles you've played, the roles you continue to play. Of course, Reverend Father Odior, so everybody knows automatically you are a Nigerian Catholic priest. You are also the executive guardian of the Correct Connect Africa Foundation, the CCAF.
Yes, exactly.
What is that?
CCAF is the Correct Connect Africa Foundation.
Yes.
It's a non-governmental organization, non-for-profit organization that is educational, an educational foundation.
Okay.
That seeks to educate us, the populace, especially the young people, the youth, on their African heritage, who they are as Africans, their identity as Africans. And we follow the Sankofa philosophy. The Sankofa word is an Akan word, which means Sankofa. It means go back to retrieve it, literally. And we use it in this way, go back to retrieve what you have left behind. So our educational structure or form is like going back to get those things that you've left behind as a country, as a continent, as a people. So it talks about history, going back to history to reclaim that which you have left behind.
Brilliant.
So that's what we do.
You're broadly recognized for your commitment to promoting the African heritage, historical consciousness, and cultural identity. And from what you just said, that is you. It's a big part of what you do.
Exactly, it is because we've come to realize that as Africans, there are a lot of things that we've left behind. Our culture is eroding. We have been swamped by the Western culture, and we are finding it difficult to to understand who we are. We are just like the pendulum, just moving here and there. We don't have a direction, a fixed position as Africans. And that is why we have taken it upon ourselves to do this, to educate ourselves, because the only way we can actually do it is to educate ourselves, educate our minds. In fact, while coming here, we're having this conversation with my crew members. The difficulty that we go through in trying to accept us, Africans, we find it so difficult to accept us. And it's a matter of the mind, it's a matter of education.
I mean, you are one of the leading voices advocating for the what is called the recognition of Africa Memorial Day across the continent.
Yeah.
You've been at that for a while now.
Yeah.
Is it bearing fruit?
Yes, we would say, they say drops of water make the ocean. And this is the 7th edition. It began in Rome, there, reaching out to the diasporan Africans there. And when I came back to Nigeria from 2022, we started again here. So here in Nigeria is the 4th time we've done it.
No.
And
did you say first or fourth? Fourth time,
yeah.
number 4.
Yeah, number 4. And you could see the progression. It from the first 2022 at Radisson Blue to 2023 at Terra Culture, 2024 at Terra Culture, and 2025 at Oriental Hotel. There is a great upscale, just moving upward. People are coming to understand. People are coming to know about it. And people, after the event, maybe the time is not coming to get to that time because we have it in May often, always. And you see people already asking, Father, how far? African Memorial Day is happening this year? Now, it's not just because of what is presented. It's the impact that the event has on people. People are already coming to that realization, learning from the event, because it's an educational event, if you want to look at it. But we make it entertaining. So whatever we do, whatever we put out there, you must learn something. There's no way you wouldn't learn 1 or 2 things. You must have something to take home, to reflect upon. But the manner we present it, it's something that you can relate with. You want to be there again and again. So there are fruits. We can say there are fruits. And the more people come to know about it, the more we move forward with it, a lot of people, and the more fruit we'll get out of it. So the African Memorial is actually recognizing and commemorating our ancestors, our African ancestors, those who fought for justice, liberation, those who died in slavery, those who went to the other world and all of that. So we are recognizing them as a continent because we've come to realize that we don't have something like that. As a continent, we don't have a day set aside to commemorate our fallen heroes, our aunts, as a continent. Some countries, they do 1 or 2 things. Even recently, it's not Namibia. Just remember, after 40 years, it was the first time they are doing their Memorial Day for what the Germans did to them and all of that. So we've come to realize that there is a need to conscientize the African people to talk about these things. Yeah, most times we see this knowledge are heavy because nobody wants to go back to that dark era, I would say, in the African story or history. But if we do not go back there, we will not know what is happening today and what we are projecting for the future. So it is a necessity.
That's powerful. And I would want to come back there again, but I also noticed that you did mention that it started in Rome. Which is where you studied, and you were there for quite a number of years.
I was there for 9 years.
Yes.
8 years in Rome, 1 year in Turin.
Okay. You are a Salesian
of Don Bosco,
priest.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah, the Salesians of Don Bosco, they are priests under the congregation of the Salesians.
Okay.
Now, Don Bosco is an Italian priest who worked for young people.
Okay.
Yeah, so during his time when he became a priest, as a young priest, he was going to the prisons to visit the prisons, and not with the idea to go and meet young people there. But when he got to the prisons, he found a lot of young people, 5 years, 8 years, 9 years, 12 years. What are these kids doing here? So at that point in time, he didn't have the resources to do anything. In fact, he didn't think about doing anything. But whenever he goes there, sometimes he means that, okay, some of them have gone out of the prison. He goes there again, they are back to the prison. So he decided that, man, I have to do something about this. If these children, if these boys have a place or somebody to take care of them, they will not find themselves again in prison. So that was the whole idea. And from there, he started something. To cut the long story short, he opened a place known as the Oratory. The Oratory is composed of a school, a church, a playground, a home, where these young people can actually study, have a home to sleep, food to eat, a church to pray, and a playground they can express themselves. So that is how it all started. So from there, he got to a point that he cannot do it alone. So he started getting people, even from the boys themselves. So he formed the Salesians after the Saint Francis of Sales.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is how the Salesians came in.
I just knew, the first thing that jumped out to me was sales.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure whether it was marketing or...
Not marketing. It's a name, actually.
Yeah.
So that is it. Yeah. And we are doing that kind of work here in Lagos, in Ibadan, at Onikpetesi, the area of cement here in Lagos. We have, in fact, they just opened the house, and the First Lady of Lagos was there to open the place, where we have a home for street boys.
Oh, beautiful.
Vulnerable kids. And they are there. They go to school, they come there, and when they get to 18 years, they maybe before then they reunite them to their family, or when they get to 18 years, they find their way and they get something for them and all of that. So,
is that in the Ibadan location?
We have that in Ibadan location, and here also in Lagos.
Yeah. Are you very familiar with Ibadan?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. You're probably familiar with the SS Peter and Paul
at Bodija.
Major Seminary.
Major Seminary at Bodija. Yeah.
I've been there a number of times in the past.
Oh, great.
Myself as a media person through the years, growing up in and starting out my career in Ibadan. Had some fantastic friends, priests, and some of them. I was also a bit of a martial arts student and later coach myself. So I'd worked, but that's a different conversation.
Yeah.
I was thinking, you are a public speaker of growing renown, and you also make outreaches to traditional rulers, is that the Iyase of Benin? That's a big one. And I just wonder, as a Catholic priest, having to juggle this too. I can understand the Salesian part of it. But sometimes, how do you juggle these deep cultural things and some of the things that even when Christianity came to Africa, the things that people were literally taught to move away from, and gravitate towards a new conscious spirituality.
Yeah.
How do you merge the two of them? And do you ever get to a confluence point where you're like, okay, where does my spirituality end and where does small juju begin to enter?
Oh my God, there's no juju at all. No juju. The thing is just, there's still dichotomy actually between my Africanness or being an African and also a Catholic priest. Actually, it helps me actually to see better, to be grounded on the gospel, because it helps me to know who I am as an African, and now incorporate the gospel values into that Africanness. And if we come to realize, look at it critically, you see that the gospel values are not different from our African values. They are not. And
they're mostly human values.
Human values. That's what I actually, when back in Rome, because I was a priest, then I went back to Rome. And when preaching and talking about these things, like, no, these things are human values. Jesus came to do what?
Or at least values with a human face to it. God cares about humans that much. We know that much. Well, for those who believe.
For those who believe in God.
Yes.
And can we say everybody believes in something?
Yeah. There's a saying in Yoruba land. That the person who says they would not worship God will worship something that's beneath God.
Thank you. So, let us not divert. Let me still go back to that question. Yeah. So, there's no divergence. There's no dichotomy. It's integrated. Now, I want to know who I am as a Catholic priest. And I've come to that realization that I am African. And all through the years, let's say when the gospel came to some part of Africa, it came through colonial lines, and the way the gospel was presented and how our own ways of doing things were looked at, we began to have a different mindset. Our mindsets began to change towards the way the Europeans brought it and following the European culture. And we neglected our own culture. The gospel was supposed to do what? Evangelize our culture, purify the impurities in the culture, and elevate it to a standard. A standard of purity, let's put it that way, or a standard of holiness, perfection, what Jesus Christ wants. But no, what happened was that we followed the European culture in responding to the gospel. That was it. Hence, our own culture was considered barbaric or demonic, diabolic, and all of that. Until today, we still consider it that way. Problem of the mind. Now, if the mind is decolonized, you will now understand that actually your culture was not a bad culture, was not devilish. It was just portrayed in that manner. Now, the people that did this, should we say, oh, they all came and did bad to our culture? No. Some people did not understand what they came to meet. And they just did what they wanted to do and followed through their own way and imposed their own culture and all of that. Some people, I wouldn't say that anybody knew or understood our culture. They just came and followed their own path. And it's even easier because by the time you want to try to understand our own culture before you bring the gospel to it, it will be very, very difficult for them. So I think, this is my own thought at this point in time, that it was easier for them to impose their culture and do whatever they wanted to do. Now, for me as a Catholic priest, knowing all of this, what would be my contribution to my people if I do not help them to understand that actually your culture is not devilish or diabolic? And that is the mission I have. That's what I'm trying to do. So meeting the ESL of Benin, we've seen some traditional persons and all of that, even in Togo and Benin Republic. It's actually to understand our cultural practices, understand where the line meets each other. And at the end, in the African traditional religion, you have good people and you have bad people. In Christianity, you have good people and you have bad people. In Islam, you have good people and you have bad people. In all the religions of the world, you have good people and bad people, not the religion or spirituality itself that is bad. So it is the people that expresses these things that can be good or bad.
Yeah.
So that is where I draw my line. Because as we said earlier, the values are human values, values of love, care, compassion, kindness, empathy, love, giving. And you find people across these religions that have these values or exhibit these values.
So when when people talk about traditional values, and when you hear a priest, a father talking about African pride and our roots and all of that, it's not just Bini jazz that he's talking about.
No, it's not. It's not Bini jazz at all.
You've already talked about it, but I just want to push you a little further here. So you preach African pride, you preach decolonization, and you're a Catholic priest. And as you also said, when the missionaries brought Christianity and all of that, people accepted it one way or the other. Yeah. Africans tend to be more replacing. They are more of replacement people than complementary people, which is why Igbo gave us these devices we have here now, mobile devices, and we've certainly just threw away our tabletops, where possible. Why the man who gave this to us still, you go abroad, you still see most homes still have their tabletops.
Yeah.
The challenge that some people have is that the Catholic Church itself is, and is deeply entrenched in the stories of our colonial stories, and people still see it as an extension of our colonial past, or at least the influence. Do you get that kind of feedback sometimes, and how do you navigate that?
Like I said, sure. Like I said earlier, we have to go beyond the lines or the history behind colonialism, the church position in history towards slavery and all of that. We can say, these things happen at a particular time of history. During the time where people were thinking in that direction, the church is human, just as it is spiritual. And the people who are at the helm of affairs are humans with flesh and blood mentality, having a particular mentality and all of that. So this particular time was a particular time of history. Now, the church does not excuse itself from this. Pope John Paul II has asked for forgiveness. Pope Francis the same. We acknowledge the role that the church has played in this particular dark history. But we are sorry. Now, the influence or the traces, are they still there? Yes. Now, it behoves of us to make that U-turn. I think the problem is making the U-turn. That's a paradigm shift. To turn. The conversion is a difficult thing. Even me that I'm talking to you now, I know how difficult it was for me to grab this whole knowledge and start to, first of all, to imbibe it, and now to expose it, to take it out. Because we were friends, African friends, just studying together, and every Friday evening, let's meet around the beer and talk about ourselves, talk about our continent, talk about our countries. That is how it all started. And I was like, okay, this knowledge that we are having is better not just to keep it to ourselves.
Yeah.
Let's take it out.
Pass it on.
That is how Correct Connect Africa Foundation came about. So now, yes, you have the role, but history should be forgiven, but the heroes of our past should not be forgotten.
I get you.
So the people that were the victims of this history, we should not forget them. That is our responsibility today now.
And which is why you are doing a callback to
Exactly.
roots, because in those stories, the stories are the stories of humans, people like us. Sometimes
like
it's
us.
hard for younger people to understand. I mean, modern people to understand that when you read about history, and you especially as far back as the history goes, you just think everybody is half naked, and they probably do not have cognitive abilities that we do have now. But they were the intelligent people.
Yeah, exactly.
They were the educated people of that time. And for the most part, literally the reasoning was to a great extent the same.
Yeah.
Basic instinct.
Yeah.
The desire to feed, the desire to protect
Yeah.
the ones you care about, the desire to pass on your genetic material, which, a.k.a. have sex.
Yeah, yeah.
All of these things, just the desire to survive. And these things still push humanity today.
Sure.
You mentioned, and because you mentioned it, you mentioned Pope John Paul, Pope Francis, so I'll just go there a little bit, especially when we talk about culture. Now, over the years, the last few decades, we have seen quite some, let me just put it mildly, some pushback from the African arm of the Catholic Church, especially against Rome in some matters. Even though it's been very subtle, I'll give you a good example. What we saw in 2023 when Pope Francis sent that letter, which was not only about accepting, but also blessing same-sex marriages. The West celebrated it. Africa looked at it and said, finally, the Antichrist has arrived. How do you navigate these things?
These things are, okay, personally, not speaking for the church, personally, studying in an environment of that nature, it is not a big deal for me. Because, everywhere, you see, you come to accept that reality. Now, understanding what Pope Francis did there, and also there was a time he asked the question, who am I to judge? Just like Jesus Christ asking the Pharisees and the people who were trying to stone the woman in the scripture because of adultery. And he asks, who among you have not sinned? And before he got up, everyone left. I think it's coming from that perspective. Like, they are human beings. Now, whatever they do, our society frowns so much at it. Now, it's not about supporting what they do, but is it that the grace of God or the blessing of God cannot come to such people also because of what they do? That is the question. I don't accept what you do. I don't promote it. I don't. However, do I have to deprive you of the grace of God? Who am I to deprive you of the grace of God? So, deal with it with God. If I am the means of you getting that grace, Why don't I give it to you? So it's not about the action, but I mean, who is free at the end?
I understand that argument. However, two things, which is, it's not to go into an argument. I am aware that there are questions, even the gospel account of the woman, the case where Jesus said, "Who's the first? Who's without sin? Let him be the first to cast the stone." Yeah. There is there's a older manuscripts, older biblical manuscripts of the have been found that actually omit that. So there are older, much older ones. The more recent ones have that, but the older ones omit that. But not even to go into all of that. The question is that it makes sense what you are saying. There's one tiny little problem though, which is Pope Leo has started already walking that back a little bit. Pope Francis was very liberal, the most liberal, they say. Pope Leo is pretty liberal too, but he has already walked that blessing. He's already done some walking back on that. So, and some fear that the back and forth, and to be honest with you, I talked about how Africa reacted, but even in the West, conservative Catholics, where they some even peeled away. Literally, it's been a very, very problematic position to take. And I know you guys, you are the guys, you are the Catholic priests. You deal with this from time to time. But I mean, what do you see happening going forward?
Definitely, Africa will not toe that line, for sure. Not Nigeria.
The thing will go far, like they say.
No, far. Not Nigeria. We are very, very conservative. Not just Catholics, but Christians. And also Muslims are conservative. So we will not go that line. But my position is to avoid playing God. That's just my position. As I said earlier, I don't support it. I don't like it. If you come to me, Father, bless me. I'm not blessing both of you as such couple. I'm blessing you
as a human being.
As a human being. I'm not.
But you still have to say, I now declare thee.
No. No, that is not actually the point. So it's not like blessing them as couple.
Okay.
It's blessing. If you say, okay, you come to me, Father, bless me. I can bless you. A gay couple comes, oh, bless me, or bless us. I can bless you, but the intention is not blessing you as a gay couple. No, that is not that. Okay, maybe I'm getting it wrong, but that is not the intention of that. But I think we got it wrong, or even out there they got it wrong. Like, okay, it's going to be blessing couples now, and say no. For the Catholic Church, for you to be a couple, there is a sacrament, and the sacrament of matrimony. You come to the church, you get married, and that is it. So there's nothing outside that again. That is the only form of being a Catholic couple. You have to do your traditional wedding wherever and come to the church for the sacrament to bless it in the church. That is the only form that we know, and that is what we know till now, even in the church, the universal church. So these other things that you're talking about is just normal blessing that you bless anybody after the mass. Come and bless me, or come to the sacristy, I bless you, or whatever you. I think that is the case.
I get where you're coming from. I also picked a few things that you said, which I agree with. Take Christianity, for instance. Sometimes it's not Christianity itself; it's the people who profess to be Christians or who profess to be representative of Christianity. And sometimes You say they are imperfect like the rest of us. They make mistakes. If they would have the humility to admit it, we are all, imperfect. And it's been a thing over time. So I would rather not turn this into a religious conversation. It just so happens that you're the first
Sometime.
religious person I'm having on the podcast. So let's go to the part that really concerns Africa is the most: poverty. We're hungry. And you look all dapper and fine and all of that, but there is no escaping the fact that
yes,
Africans, at the end of the day, whether it is what is going on between Russia and Ukraine, or what is going on, the sad tragedy and dehumanization that is going on in Gaza against Palestine. I don't want to go too deep into that, but like you said, we're human beings first and foremost. And like they say, what is bad is bad. It has no other name. Okay. And you also said some other things. At least the part that is not in question in the Bible is the part where Jesus said, "Do not judge, so that you may not be judged." That one is it's in all the manuscripts. So hunger. Some people feel that by championing the cause of African pride, African roots, African justice, it potentially is distracting from the fact that we are hungry, and that is what we should be talking about. How would African leaders ensure that they stop starving their people? Do you get, and if somebody reacted in that way that, it's all good to talk about African pride and all of that thing, what is there to be proud of when our bellies are hungry?
Yeah. It's quite a wonderful question, and also an observation, because actually we are hungry. We are hungry, and we are still in that, in the Maslow scale, the pyramid of needs. We are still at the bottom. The first things, food, shelter, clothing.
Most basic. We're just at that basic level. That's why we don't have rocket scientists.
Because who's going to be thinking about that when we have not filled your stomach and paid your house rent or get close to where you get? Yeah, it's true. Sometimes I tell my guys, like, man, this thing is so difficult over here because we are hungry. I say that a lot. You don't have, it's a non-governmental thing. You find it difficult to have people who just come and help. Why? Because that time that they would use to help, they would rather use it to look for something to get money. But should we neglect what is most important to us because we are hungry? No. You see, we are hungry because I would say we have let it be. So we have allowed it. The African who knows his or herself will not allow things that are happening this way. The African who is conscious of themselves will not allow what is happening here in Africa, in Nigeria, or what have you. The African who is self-aware and knows the value of him being self-aware will not allow this. The African who understands that my ancestors were kings and queens, princes and princesses, founder of civilizations, people who built the pyramids, who used the Nile for vegetation and used it to feed generations.
The Nubians.
The Nubians, the first doctors, the first philosophers. The African who is aware and conscious of that fact will rise and obtain what belongs to him or her. because that is what he or she is built with.
But how? You're going to need to buy a few F-16s and a few...
No.
How are you going to take it back from leadership that has all the power?
Yeah, mass action. You don't even need to do... Now, the thing is that it is still the education. We just still need to educate ourselves, get the right education, not doing a British curriculum or an American curriculum, all of that. We want our children to go to such schools. Those will not help us to change the destiny of this country or the destiny of Africa. We have to have our own type of schools, our own type of knowledge. Our great-grandparents are dying. The knowledge that they have is dying with them.
True.
Our herbs.
True.
Who is collating, who is getting that knowledge from them? They are dying with them, and it is painful. We want to be Americans, we want to be Europeans, we want to be Indians now, even the Chinese now. So it's still the education. We need to educate our minds. We need to educate ourselves. Emmanuel was there at the event, and he told me that the performance or the activity that he enjoyed most was the production of the kids. They were talking about the awakening, and they were educating the audience about who we are as Africans. Beautiful. They got a standing ovation. Children who attend a particular school that is Afrocentric. And that school is linked to the Correct Connect Africa Foundation. And I am happy. If I die today, I'm fulfilled, because I see kids who are aware of who they are, and they are proud of. In fact, one of them is having problem with the parents now. And the parents is trying to, okay, after your secondary school, you go to the US or wherever. And this child is saying, no, I don't want to go there. I want to remain here.
Yeah. I see.
That is the orientation we need to. We cannot all run away. Everybody running away. And where we are going to, they fought to get what they have, to get whatever they have there today. The American Civil War, the Europeans fighting themselves to come up with the European Union. It's not just, it didn't just come like that, so rosy and everything. No, they had to fight to demand what they want. So we have to decide, what do you want? Who are you, first of all? Because if you actually don't know who you are and the value that you protect, you can't actually... You will get it, but it will not be interiorized. Because still you don't know who you are.
So if you don't know where you are coming from, you can't correctly judge where you are going.
You can't.
Just to be sure, I mean, so our producers can take note. There's a part of this conversation that you want off the records.
Yeah, the NSAS thing and all of that.
Just that part.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
so
yeah.
not the whole, because you just made some really valuable contribution. It's tough being an African, but it's also a beautiful thing. And I was just wondering, let's just piggy off a little bit. I mean, I had goosebumps when you were talking about the pyramids. Egypt is still the first of the 7 major superpowers named in the Bible. It started with Egypt, then Assyria, then Babylon, then Medo-Persia, then Greece, then Rome, and now the Anglo-American world superpower. It all started in Egypt. I'm just wondering now, these days, we're having issues of North Africans, maybe not all of them, claiming they are really not African in the context. You get that kind of feedback, and what do you say to that?
Yeah, because actually they are not Africans. They are invaders who invaded and remained. the ancient Egypt went through 7 major invasions, and the Arabs were the last. And that's why you have the Arabs in Egypt and some other neighboring countries like Morocco, Tunisia. These are Arabs. They were not like Africans. Now, when all of these invasions were happening, you see people were running away, escaping, going to different parts. And if you we went to Togo, and we met a king there who was telling us how their people came from ancient Egypt. The Benin people also, they came from ancient Egypt. So
those are the Omoniles, the real people.
The people, yeah. So what we have there, we have the Arabs now. So if they say actually that they are not Africans, they are not wrong. They are not wrong. So it's for us to know. You see, maybe somebody when they're playing football and all of that, why do they also come into the AFCON and all of those things? Yeah, that is where they are at this point in time. The circumference, the continent, the map includes them and all of that. But really, they're not African.
I wonder what you think about the potential for a modern day invasion of Africa, or whether it is really happening right now.
You're asking me. Yeah, it is. Africa is the source where everybody has to suck from. But it's still just the Africans that are running from the source, or don't even know that they are the source.
We are running to go and enjoy it there.
Yeah, when it's you want to get the what do you call it now? The watered,
the watered down version.
Yeah,
the diluted.
Diluted, that's the word I was
version.
looking for. Yeah,
it's like running from the cocoa plantation to go and eat chocolate. Where they ship all the cocoa to make the chocolates.
Exactly. You have the plantation. You are the plantation. But you are not aware.
All right. That's deep. It's brief, but very deep. Just push you back without necessarily pushing you back towards religion again. A lot of conservative Christians or Catholics kind of, especially in the West, feel that, and some of them are Africans themselves, wonder whether your push for African pride and African root might somehow potentially dilute the messaging.
The message is universal. The message is one. The message is independent of the culture where it goes to. In fact, the message is actually the agent to the culture. So there's no way. At the end, it is when you understand, when you give the child in the bath, and you take you wash the child, and you try to leave the child and throw away the water. That is when you actually understand what is happening here. It's making reference to those things that are much more important, not the attachments. Is Igbo church or a Yoruba church, or is a European church, a European gospel that is encapsulated in European culture, or Asian American? That is not the point. The point is the word, the gospel. And if we actually put the gospel in practice, We will not be having invasion here and there. Or a country that is corrupt, or another country trying to maximize the what do you call it now, the difficulty and of another country, or trying to what have you. Let us just imbibe the gospel. So those are the things that are more important. So those people who will be thinking this, you will dilute. There's no dilution here. There's nothing diluting. The gospel remains the gospel. And it cuts across every culture, every religion. Because at the end, the gospel is still those values that we're talking about. When Jesus Christ came, he came into a culture, the incarnation. The word became flesh in a culture, in human form. And in that culture, what happened? He was against the leaders. He was totally against them. And was preaching what? Love.
Yeah. True. Call them quite some colorful names too.
Oh.
Like whitewashed graves, blind
Broods
guides.
of vipers and all of that.
Said they were from their father, the devil. And they deserved every bit of it too. Let me push you back a bit, just a little bit more, to where you talked about, you talked about the kid and who even spawned his father's desire to have him go study abroad. And we also talked about this, what has come to be called the Japa syndrome, where you're running from the source of all the good things to go taste it abroad. Somebody's listening to this and wondering, Reverend Father, what are you saying? Are you saying young Nigerians shouldn't go and look for new opportunities abroad? I just want you to clarify.
No, that is not the point. The point is that before you go, know who you are. That is it. Have an identity so that when you go there, you can speak at the table. You will not be the person that is spoken about at the table, or the person that is serving those speaking at the table. You can be part of the table and part of the conversation. But if you do not have an identity, it's just new ways of slavery. I was there for 9 years of my life, and I met a lot of Nigerians. I met a lot of Africans there. It's not rosy. It's not easy. If they should tell you the truth about their life there, no one would want to leave. No, it can push you to tears. Seeing your brothers and sisters on the streets begging, what they would not do here. What they would not, in fact, your family members would not even allow it. You'll be in front of the market, the store with a cap, and these old women are coming and throwing and somebody will tell you, that money they use until they build house. So is that the point? What about your dignity as a human being? So my point, I'm not saying you should not travel out. Yes, you should actually. Go and see the rest of the world. Educate yourself through that means of traveling. See what is happening out there and appreciate who you are. Because if you do not see, you wouldn't even appreciate who you are. So go out there. But first and foremost, know who you are, know where you're coming from, have something to go and contribute there. Because if you do not know who you are, what are you going to contribute to that? Because they want to see you as you.
I get that. Just to remind ourselves that you're not just a Catholic priest, you are also an advocate for African identity and historical awareness. Yes. I'm just wondering, tell me your experiences and thoughts on racism.
That's a big one. Racism is real. It's real. And I think it still goes back to how we see ourselves coming from an African who is in a European country and environment. I would say that for the 9 years of my life there, it was momentary. Racism in all forms. The way you are treated, the way you are spoken to. One day, an experience. It was my birthday.
Whoa.
And my professor of communication, because I studied social communications, and he said, "Oh, it's Tony's birthday. A polish. Eh? So you have good people and you have bad people, and this
Everywhere.
yeah, everywhere. And this is my man, is my professor. Till tomorrow I talk about him, Professor Tadek Lewicki. So he said, "Oh, let's go out to see a play." So they got tickets and we went out to see a play. So my classmates, all of us, after the play, "Oh, let's go for a beer." We went for a beer, and what happened? The white guys, the students, whites, male and females, were served the beer on a tumbler, glass cup. While the Africans were served on a rubber, plastic. I did not even notice it. I thought that it was the same for everyone. My mind go there. So it was my prof that made that observation. Was like, he looked at himself, he looked at the other ones they were using. Said, "You see what happened here?" Or like, "What happened?" They see what happened. I felt very bad. But I said to myself, don't spoil your day. It's just one of the days.
Yes, if they could find calabashes, they would have put your own drink.
I would have preferred. But that's just to tell you the level.
Serious.
The level, I mean, it's huge, it's high, it's there. In all sectors. All sectors.
Were they like, let's not, these glass cups are too pristine for this.
Yeah, maybe they would break it. Too pristine or too precious. They're too dignified for such people. And you are said, I mean, that's your business. You don't care. It's your business. So just imagine how you have been looked at and taken. So from even the business perspective, you don't count. The money you are going to bring, what is it now? People have different experiences, but this is just one experience that I had. And there are other places I went to that people were good to me and all of that. But we're talking about racism in general. Yeah, it's real, it's there. It prevents, if you don't know who you are, my brother, you can break down. It will break you down. You see, Rome is a place you have a lot of priests going for studies here and there. And there's this African priest, Nigerian, that went to Rome. He was a parish priest. At a particular place. You go to Rome, it's totally different. Here, the priest, you take you with so much like respect and all of that. You get there. And so what? If you're a priest, and so what? That's the mentality. So this guy, I think the thing was getting to him. And he could just be on him by himself and just be talking to himself. Like, what's happening to this brother? What is happening to this brother? So it was not easy for him because it was a cultural shock, I would say, that you are everything here and you get here, you are nobody. And if people who are out there are listening, are going to listen to this podcast, they would concur if they are truthful to themselves. Should we not go out there? We should go. It's good to actually experience it. Do I want to go back there again? My professor is telling me to come and do my doctorate degree. Nah, I don't want to go there again. I don't want to. I can go for pleasure, visit, but stay there another 1 year, 2 year. Nah. We are here.
What you're saying is powerful because, for some of us, sometimes it's hard to conceptualize. So I have traveled to a great many places around the world in my life, but some of these things are still relatively alien to me. Because it's a different experience when you are only visiting.
Yeah, it is. It is.
So usually, I don't have a personal experience about racism. I've seen it from afar, racial profiling, that is. I once traveled with a young man, and it was a different experience. It was, I've shared this before, it was at the heart of London. It was a different experience because of that young lad. And I knew that it was there was a profiling. And I knew he was being profiled as we went. Maybe I seemed harmless. So that this guy was... I've also been in a conversation with two American students who wanted... and they wanted me to share my experience. They were cataloging stuff. They wanted me to share my experience with racism, with the police profiling me for being black. And I didn't have anything to share. And I was like, I don't have the experience. And they didn't like the fact that I said I was trying to explain, look, I am here on a visit. I don't live here.
Yeah.
I get homesick pretty easily. So living abroad has been tough business for me. I've tried it before, didn't work. So those who don't have the experience can find it hard to fathom. But there's also the other people who live in denial. We know. We have friends, we have family who have lived abroad. And there's one recurrent theme that we all know. It doesn't matter what you are here. When you get there, you're at the bottom of the chain.
Yeah.
No doubt. Everybody knows that. You're just making the best of a bad situation. In reality, the system works.
Sure.
Because the system works, it happens to somewhat more than adequately compensate for it. But
exactly.
Man, I hang out with my guys. I still have to buy them drinks, pay for them. I'm like, I'm the guest. You guys should be feeding me. They dare not.
Yeah.
And I still make peanuts in Nigeria here. If you ask me, it's not that I'm the child of a prince. Maybe like you, but let me pivot. It was important that we had that discussion. So
yeah.
Let me just pivot. I just want to ask you about, because you're a priest, you're an advocate, you're a Benin man. You lived literally a decade at the heart of the Italian capital, Rome. So I want to ask you about prostitution, Nigerian girls and prostitution. Particularly, some people say Benin girls especially. I mean, is it something you have had to contend with or had to consider or had to worry or answer questions on?
I've not answered questions on that, actually. Worry, yes. My sisters. I call them my sisters. They are my sisters. And in Rome, even in Turin, we saw some of them. And one of my friend who came around, a priest also, he's also from Benin. Not a Benin man, but he grew up in Benin. And I don't know, he spoke the Benin language to this particular girl. And the girl started insulting and insulting him. So we left. He was laughing. I was like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this and all of that? So yeah, that was in Turin.
It'll be like, are you the one that will feed me and my
something
family
like
at
that.
home?
Are you okay? What is wrong with you? And all of that. So in Rome, they are there. They are there, and pretty young ones, very very young ones. And when they see you and they suspect that you're a Nigerian, they start speaking Benin, and they don't even know that maybe the person that you are is maybe understands Benin and all of that. Yeah. So they are there. And there was one that happened. I think this is also in the north, not Turin, but a neighboring town. I had gone to see one of the communities, Salesian communities. I went to work, and they welcomed me very well. They took me as their own. Just the way we're talking about racism and all of those things. I didn't see anything of racism in this particular community. They welcomed me. In fact, I was like a star there, surprisingly. So anytime I go to Turin, I like to go just to say hello to them, then go back. So I got to the train station, and it was raining. So looking at the road, there is this car there, not tinted, and there's this young African girl. Later, I got to know that she was Nigerian, and the European man, the Italian man, they were arguing. I was just there watching. I don't know what happened in there. So she came out of the car, and the guy zoomed off. She came directly to me and said, "Brother, I beg, how I fit take go to Turin?" I was shocked. Not for anything that she could recognize that, not just a Nigerian, maybe somebody that, because the way brother, that is a Benin way or Edo way of talking to an elder in that manner. Like, I was shocked. I directed her, told her the kind of train that she would take and all of that for her to go. But it made me think, what happened there? Maybe this is just my own thought. I don't know what happened. Maybe she was carried and all of that. Maybe the guy had promised to take her to Turin or wherever he took her from, but decided to drop her at the train station to find her way. Perhaps that was the argument. Oh, you promised to take me there. And I don't know. I'm just speculating. Yeah, it made me think, you are powerless. You can't do anything. And yeah. Now, when I came back to Nigeria for holidays, I went to Benin, and one of my friends is a parish priest there. So I preached in his church, and I spoke about these things of prostitution, how women, mothers push their children to do this. Oh, Itohan is doing it. Not be wait till Itohan get. Not be yourself get. Itohan, don't build house for your mama. Don't build house for your papa. You day here, they waste, they go. Things like that. These are, it's serious. It's painful. We still need to educate ourselves, conscientize ourselves on things like this, so that we can find a way to curb them. So I have had this experience in one way or the other.
Yeah. Really troubling. It's been troubling for a long time.
Sure.
And you think maybe something will be done about it. Sometimes it's just so helpless. It's like...
because big goons that are behind it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can imagine that in Italy, you're saying the Italian mafias are relinquishing their seats for Nigerians. Because they feel that Nigerians will be the ones to.
Wow. Unbelievable.
So how can you curb this? It's almost impossible. Almost.
Yeah, the cartel chiefs are now your brothers.
So,
and they have power, and they have influence.
Yeah.
And then they have access.
Yeah. Both sides.
Goodness gracious.
Both sides.
Do you sometimes think that I mean, this is deep, but I'll try to make it a little less deep. So much of this, the economy is behind some of these things, driving these things. Many of these people, these girls, are making these moves out of desperation. A lot of, like you just mentioned, and that is quite true, how out of desperation, parents have been known to push their kids into the dark side, just to shed some financial, economic lights on their family and all of that. Which brings us back to the whole Nigerian issue.
Hunger.
Bad leadership and hunger. They're interrelated. And then the young people are the worst victims of this. And when you are young, you have your future spread across you. You're like you've seen your parents' poverty and you want none of it. And you are like, whatever it's going to take. Now, once man they die, you have that mentality. I either get rich or die trying. That kind of mentality, whatever it will take. If it takes me killing a friend, a neighbor, a random stranger, or even a family member, and cutting off their heads or some vital body organs, because one Baba says it will make me rich, I do it. And we're kind of seeing the fall of African society. If you're going to say something to young people that might be unpopular, they might not like you for saying it, but you want to speak truth to them, whether they take it or leave it, what will it be?
It would be that their destiny is in their hands. And you can only be that which you want to be if you, first of all, recognize who you are. First of all, the first thing. Secondly, work towards it. Today, our young people, they want it quick. They want it immediately, which is as a result of our socialite lifestyle. What they see on TikTok and Instagram, I can do it immediately. If they can do it, me too, we can do it and all of that. But it's not always like that. So, believe in yourself. Know yourself. Understand the metrics of life. Then work. You got to work. Even me that I'm sitting down here, I worked. It was not rosy all through in my life. No, I worked. I did what they call leguke. I carried sand. I worked with my uncle, a plumber, dug the ground, chisel walls for pipes to be passed through. We sold akpu for our parents, and we had to work. But one thing remained, that we were hopeful. We knew that ours would be different. Now, a lot of things, we are experiencing a lot of things in Nigeria today. Things you just indicated. if it will cost me to kill somebody, I will do it. Nah. Because it will not last. It will not last. You will not be happy. All that I'm saying it's not popular, yeah? But I would still say it. You will not be happy. You will not have peace of mind. There was a time that Sakawa was reigning in Ghana. They said that is the bigger brother of Yahoo Yahoo in Nigeria. So these young boys, they would do horrible things to get rich. And after like 2-3 years, somebody will get mad, somebody will die, and all of those things. All to make money. So, no, that is not the path. That's not the path. You can actually be a prince in Nigeria. You can actually be a king in Nigeria. But the thing is, we have to work together. We have to work together to achieve that which we are looking for. It's not a segmented action. It has to be a uniform action. It has to be a uniform action. We have to work together. You have to state what you want and be into it. When Buhari said that our young people are lazy, a lot of people were shouting, it is not popular. We are lazy. Our young people of today, most of us are lazy. Because of what? This quick syndrome. We want to get it immediately and we don't want to go through the process of things.
I want it all and I want it now.
Now. The now syndrome, the now philosophy, it does not work that way. And that is what is pushing many people to do whatever they are doing today. Running up and down, EFCC coming, you run here and there. No, that is not the way. So let us follow it through. Study. Learn a trade or something. In fact, today, mechanics are doing better. Carpenters are doing better. Gone are the days that say, you are doing mechanic, you are nothing to write home about. No. And that is also a colonial mindset. Because everything still goes back to the mind.
People who make the cars, are they not mechanics?
Mechanics. And today you see people doing carpentry work. Wonderful works. And they will charge you in millions. If you want my services, this is it. I tell my young people, those around me, be good at your trade. And even though you are staying in a hole, they will come and look for you there. Let money not be what is driving you to do whatever you are doing. Let professionalism be the case. And if you are a professional, the money will look for you. The money will look for you and call your name and knock at your door, and you will even be making shakara. You will say, today I can't, I'm tired. Learn it. But that's not the case. Haphazardly, we just do things anyhow. And I will end with this experience. At the office, to get the internet router and all of that. So they got the wire to get the router, and the router was just like this and bent. So, and the guy was on his phone telling me that he is done with the job. So I checked it and I said, bros, how far? See how the thing be. I saw you won't leave him. He said, and I don't see what I go fit a hold on, I saw I can't leave him. I said, but bros, you don't say you go fit bring and come like this. Put this one, take wage and for here. The thing go look good. And I did it for him. He now saw it. I said, is it not okay like this? He said, it's okay. Okay, do it. He finished it. Then I paid him. I said, but do you like it this way? He said, yes. But do you know that you can actually have done this? Tomorrow, I will not call you now because I'm doing your job for you. I don't have that strength and that time to be wasting, to be teaching you what I'm going to pay you for. So, guys, don't get me wrong. This is just the truth. Face it. Work. Work hard. Know your trade. Know your trade. And be the best at that which you are doing. Be the best. And that money you're looking for will be looking for you.
I love that. And I really would love that to be the parting shot, but I'm just tempted to just throw this one, just one last thing about leadership in Africa because of what you do. Rachel, I was just going to ask you what frustrates you the most about this country. And you could share what it is, but even more so, I want your thoughts on African leaders and the Africa First mindset in your line of work and all of that, your advocacy and all of that. What do you see and what would you like to see?
It gets to a point that you are tempted not to see hope, not to even be hope. You can't, not to see hope. And you keep, sometimes you ask yourself, did I actually make the right decision coming back to this country? Sometimes you ask yourself that. And it's bad. It's frustrating. It's really bad. Leadership in Africa, leadership in this country is not. And it's not just about the leadership of the present. It's not about the present leadership. It's something that has been there. So now it's going deep. What has begun a long time ago is going deep, and we are seeing that deepness, and we're thinking this is the problem. This is not actually the problem. It's coming from somewhere. And it's sad, really, really sad that we have so much and we are this poor. I'm sorry to say, but 30 kilometers of a road that is 700 kilometers done, and 30 kilometers done, and we are celebrating.
About 4% of the whole thing.
And we have big celebration. And to do that celebration, we're talking about billions of naira. And we have dilapidated hospitals. People are dying in hospitals. A friend of mine used to say that once you should pray in Nigeria, don't go to the hospital. Pray not to get sick, that will take you to the hospital because you might not come back. This is the country that has it all. So it's frustrating. Really, it's really, really frustrating. But it can be better. There is hope, actually. It's just that sometimes you get to that feelings and you feel, okay, there's no hope and all of that. But actually, there's hope. People are rising. People are awakening. The young people are awakening, even though it's not as we would want it to be now, but people are coming to realize things that are happening, things that is happening. Look at what happened between the American general and Traore. You see the backlash. Normally, everybody will be silent and well, to consign me and things like that. But look at the backlash. And
if you just turned left, you see what we are being prompted with.
Oh, exactly. That is a youth. So there is hope. And people are seeing this guy. In fact, old women are talking about Traore. So the young people are looking at him. The young people are seeing him. They are seeing what he's doing. He's the example. Some people will he's overhyped and what have you. Even at that, let him be overhyped. But this young man is giving hope to the African young people, the African youth. And these are the kind of leaders we are looking for. These are the kind of leaders, selfless leaders. I'm not in Burkina Faso. I don't know exactly what is happening there. But what we see, I mean, I have not actually seen on the comment section and you say, actually, it's not true, or something like that. It's always praises and all of that. You see at the comment sections. So there's hope, actually. We will get there. We would get there. But we need this mass action. This mass action must be the one of educating ourselves. Because if we do not educate ourselves, we go and grab power. If you go and grab power, the next person that is there, we do the same thing. We are what? We are products of our society. We are not different. We are not different. So these are my thoughts, my few thoughts on leadership is bad. It's bad. It's devilish. It's devilish. It's not leadership in Africa, case study in Nigeria, is devilish. We don't need to look for devil outside there. No. The devil is just here with us and is dealing with us. So the devil is not the president, is the ruling class.
The collective.
The collective, yeah. So I'm not talking about one person.
The establishment.
The establishment, the structure, the system. And a theological question, I don't know. Will the devil ever repent?
What a bombshell note. And here you are teaching us to take pride in Africa.
Yeah. Yeah. As we said earlier, there are good people and there are bad people. Irrespective of who you represent, where you serve, what have you. You have good people, you have bad people.
On that bombshell note, I think we should end it. But I will just also give you a chance to also promote what you're doing, next steps, and your call to action.
Great. Thank you so much. Yes, we are here, Correct Connect Africa Foundation, an educational foundation that preaches Africa, going back to our roots, going back to our history, our culture, our heritage, to be able to get those good things that are there and bring it to use them for the present and project it for the future. Yes, we just finished the Africa Memorial Day on May 25th, 2025, and it was a blast. It was a blast. We had wonderful insights coming from there, panel discussion, different performances that educated us about ourselves as Africans. And now we are moving forward. The conversation continues, and good. We are having this conversation here at outside the box on Cool FM, right? Now, and what we are looking forward to get from this is to continue the conversation, to continue educating ourselves. And to do that, Correct Connect Africa Foundation is launching an initiative known as African Heritage Library. A library that houses books on Africanness, African culture, history, everything African, and also artifacts that represent different cultures and their stories. And how is it done? If you have a book that you want to donate to this library, you just send us an email to info@ccaf.africa, info@ccaf.africa. Africa. Now, what we do with these books, you write the name or the family name, and when we stack these books, your name or your family name will be there. That okay, this book is coming from this family, so it is your legacy. You are donating, you are giving. We call it legacy giving. So you are donating something to that particular library. I want it to be so that it is a library that was contributed for by, let's say collectively, by the community, by each and every one of us. Books that you don't use anymore, things that are just there, you don't know what to do with them. We are here to make them useful for you, for ourselves, for yourself, and for the generations to come. So that is one of the things we are doing. And also we are looking for a space. So if you're out there, you have a space that you want to, we don't have money. We're in Lagos and it's very difficult to get houses, space and all of that. But if you have a space you want to donate or gift to this initiative, God will bless you. So we are here to help us, to help our young people, to help the next generation. Whatever thing you want to do, researches and all of those things, you come to the African Heritage Library to do that. And that is what we are trying to build these days, this time around. And we've already launched it. Some people are already sending books. And yours can also help. Yours can also be one of those artifacts that could help to educate the younger generation. Thank you.
Reverend Father Tony Aleakwe Odior. Never thought a conversation with a Reverend Father would be this interesting and enlightening.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you.